John. Yeah, the sponsor of today's video is AudioQuest. Click the link in the description box below. Bye.
Do I need to rotate any of my plants?
No, treble is fine.
You think it sounds all right? Okay.
Yeah.
So last time, in the last video, the one before that video, we spoke about functionality at the high end with high-end audio gear. And I want to pick up that theme today, because last time we were talking about DACs. Today I want to talk about turntables. And if I lift this up into shot here, I have here in my hands a Rega / Rega, depending on how you pronounce it, Planar 2. And you can tell this is pretty light. This is a wonderful little turntable. And mounted to the tone arm here, I have a Zoo modded Denon DL-103r. Now this was fitted for me by tone arm expert Frank Schröder, who lives on the other side of the city here. And he did such a good job on this. This turntable sounds absolutely fantastic. Oh, by the way, this isn't a moving coil cartridge. That's important to know for where we're going with this. But this is a wonderful, wonderful turntable. And this is possibly, in this apartment right now, this is my favorite sounding turntable. This has, for me, what I would call the best sound. So why then, let's put that down carefully, why then do you always see a Technics turntable in my videos? Because surely if the Rega is best, I would be using that all of the time, right? If it sounds best. So why am I using this Technics with the Ortofon 2M Black constantly in my videos and also in my my life outside of YouTube? I know that's hard for some of you to imagine, but I do have a life outside of YouTube. And that's actually why I don't talk about turntables all that often, because that is very much my private audio space, right? Everything that you see in videos normally I talk about eventually and I make videos about. But one of my patrons emailed me going, how come you're not talking about this turntable? Don't you like it? I'm like, yeah, I love it. But it's like my private space that, I just don't want to have to talk about everything that I have here. I want to keep something for myself, right? Obviously you see today that I've caved. So why then am I using this that doesn't sound as good as this? Before we go any further, we need to talk about the qualitative differences in sound between these two turntables. The Rega with the Zoo has more attack, more punch. It's got a bit more top end air, a bit more top end bite. This Ortofon on this Technics, rich, smooth, big, and if you want one of John's special metaphors, here it comes. So I would say that this setup here sounds like you're sitting in a big warm bath. Whereas this guy turns on the water jets to turn it into a jacuzzi. How good's that? That's both amazing and terrible, isn't it? But anyway, now those are the qualitative differences. How big those differences are, well, it's my job to magnify them so that you understand how this differs from that, how A differs from B. But the differences, as always, are not huge. They're not night and day, as some people say, or this one blows this one out of the water. Honestly, when I hear that, I just go, what a load of... The differences between a lot of the things that I talk about are kind of small. And it's, like I say, it's my job to magnify them. But I tend to focus on the qualitative differences, and I don't very often talk about how big those differences are. remember this? Smog's Knock Knock. This was this was remastered just for vinyl about 2 years ago. What a wonderful record. And maybe we'll just put it on this Technics just for show. Okay. And that's brilliant. Sorry, Olaf. Okay, danke, tschüss. So a piece of shit has just arrived. It looks like it's had a fairly rough journey from California. This is the Jotunheim 2. It sounds pretty loose actually. Anyway, I'll open that later. So, where were we? Okay, yeah, Smog on the Technics. This is a very solid turntable, much more solid than the Rega. I know that the Rega's thing is low mass plinths. This is the opposite of that really, and probably because these kinds of turntables were initially designed for DJs. So that DJ connection is very, very, very powerful for many buyers of turntables like this. Anyway, that's one of the appeals for me of the Technics 1200/1210 design, is the sort of the DJ nature of the turntable, which then feeds into its other features. So, for example, we have adjustable feet, so I can spin these up and down, so I can level my turntable very easily. It's very, very, very important to level your turntable, otherwise it won't sound quite right. Now for the Rega to do that, it just has 3 feet, but they're not adjustable, so I have to put coins under the feet in order to level it. So this is more flexible. We've got a power on-off switch here with a blue light. Obviously we've got this pilot light here. They're more sort of DJ things. I never touch this slider, don't care. Like, it's just for pitch control if you're sort of beat matching records. That's not what I bought this table for. But one of the key features I like about this is just the very fast start-stop. It's a bit faster than the Rega. The Rega has a start-stop switch underneath. It's a little kind of rocker switch. But this on top means, you know, I can just pull this across and bang, and I'm up and running. Now, we've got to move to probably the biggest reason why I use this turntable into the Rega. In fact, this is the main reason, right? Is that we can switch between 33 and 45 with the click of a button. Let me show you how we have to do that on the Rega, because this is one of my bugbears of entry-level turntables. So imagine that I've just finished playing Brian Eno's wonderful Taking Tiger Mountain by Strategy, and that's a 33 RPM record. So I take it off and I'll put it back into its inner sleeve because we can't leave these lying around. Put that there, and then on the back here I've got a 12-inch from the House of Love called I Don't Know Why I Love You, and this is 45. Actually, before I take it out of its inner sleeve, I need to do something because we need to change the speed on this Rega. So what we have to do is we have to lift off the glass, and then we've got this pulley system here. And to change it from 33 to 45, I've got to move this rubber band onto the lower pulley, and then I have to put my platter back, and then only then can I put my 45 RPM House of Love record on the turntable and play it. Obviously we're doing this on my couch right now just as an illustration of what happens, but it's still, even if this turntable were on top of my rack, it would still be the same process. And I find that hugely, hugely irritating when I want to cut between 45 and 33. And I don't have this problem with the Technics. Back with the Technics, another thing that I really like about this turntable is it has adjustable VTA on this disc beneath the tone arm mount, so that we can adjust the height of the back of the tone arm VTA means vertical tracking angle, so that adjusts the sort of vertical tracking angle of the tone arm. So I can adjust that with the Rega. I can't do that. We have to use something called shims, which we have to unscrew the tone arm, put some metal discs like washers in, screw them back in. What a palaver. No thank you. I like the kind of instant flexibility. I guess it's like instant gratification for turntable adjustment, really. And the same goes for removable head shells. So if I clip this and take this out, I can take this head shell off. And I can swap this out for another head shell with a cartridge mounted to it very, very easily. So that's a lot of fun, actually. So if I want a different flavor, I can just take this one off and pull my Nagaoka MP110H down, install that, and I've got like a different sound, and then I can just adjust it pretty quickly. And that's the thing. I mean, this is why I get people like Frank Schröder to come and install the cartridges on my other turntables like the Rega, because I'm not an expert at it. I'm also a big fan of moving magnet cartridges. And that's more to do with my job than anything else, actually. It's because if I get an integrated amplifier that has a built-in phono stage, more likely than not, it's MM only. So this is an MM cartridge. Now, some of you might be sitting there thinking, oh God, John, why don't you just get a step-up transformer for your zoo and put it on here? Well, it's not so easy to get a Frank Schröder over to my house right now during the pandemic. Step-up transformer is another expense. I'm talking about the situation that I have now, here. Don't have an SUT or a SUT. I don't have Rega's, what is it called? Neo PSU? I think that's the new version that allows me to kind of adjust the speed on a Rega turntable. I don't have it because it doesn't work with the Planar 2. It's not a thing for the Planar 2, it is for the Planar 3 and above. And that kind of points me to where I would love to go. Planar 8 is probably one of the best looking turntables I've seen in recent years. That has the PSU with it, so you can push one button, change the speed, although it's not as zippy as these. This just feels more, I don't know, it's more instantaneous, you know, like bang, 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 bang. Now I know that doesn't suit everybody, and people I know are into vinyl because it's slow, and some people like slow, but I don't always, you know, and especially if I'm working, I need to be able to change things pretty quickly. I also need to be able to adjust things pretty quickly, and this table for me allows me to do that more readily than the Rega. But here's the thing, I like the sound of the Rega with the Zoo cartridge on it. I like it more, I really do. I like that extra attack, that sort of microdynamic kick. It's just, for me, it's a more engaging listen, but then again, I really favor microdynamic snap, crackle, and pop. I've spoken about that before. So those are the things that I'm into, but they're not enough. Those sound quality differences are not enough to sway me back to the Rega full time, because the functionality of this table in all its glory, if you like, is why I really do love using and owning a Technics. Yeah, I bought this. I think it's a fantastic, fantastic turntable, and it's super flexible. Functionality is a big, big thing, even when we're spending a lot of money on high-end audio gear. So yeah, this was a much looser video than we're used to making. But if you want the TLDR, it's basically sometimes the sound quality jump from product A to product B is not enough. Like, it's not enough to sway me from the original product because the original product's functionality is so good, or it's so flexible, or its feature set is so broad. I guess, like with the Auralic PS Audio comparison, I'm just using these as tools, if you like. You know, I'm using these to illustrate the importance of functionality, feature set, flexibility, and how that is sometimes as important as sound quality. For some people it's more important, and here's the thing. It's up to you. It's up to you to decide. Now, Olaf was asking me earlier on, like, okay, well, how big is the difference between the Rega and the Zoo versus the Technics and the Ortofon? And I guess you'd call it like maybe a 7.5 versus a 9, or an 8 versus a 9 in terms of sound quality. It's not night and day. It's not blowing things out of the water. I don't know where these people get these ideas that this like absolutely destroys that. No, it doesn't. Not at all. Like, these differences are small. And yeah, I'm rambling again, so let's wrap this up. If you like this video, please hit the like button down below. If you like my attitude towards high-end audio, in that, you know, it's not always about sound quality, it's about functionality as well, and aesthetics. That's a different video. Then please subscribe to this channel, and as always, thank you ever so much for watching.